Hi all, Hipper here. Today we are looking at Edinburgh again, because this is, well, Edinburgh week, I guess. But for this build here, I am using Fraser, because I'm going for a full reload build. And my inspiration is Mimbelli here for another 6%, and then I have Yamamoto for increased AP penetration. And of course base trade a little bit more speed, which is good. But this is what I really want here. Another penetration multiplier of another 4%. Then I have torpedo range here, which is nice. And I didn't pick this one, obviously, because Edinburgh doesn't have HE shells. And then again, another AP penetration here, primarily. Also damage, but penetration primarily. And a little bit more accuracy. And of course down here I have reload and increased range when the circumstances are for it. So if we look at the ship here, I have increased main battery traverse speed here because I don't have Ingenious on this commander. And next up is steering, and lastly I have of course the improved reload. So if we just quickly look at the stats here, you can see the reload is 5.8 and the range is 15.3. And the maneuverability, you're paying a lot there. You're down to 34 knots and more than 4-second rudder. So also on this build here, I've chosen smoke because I don't have really the agility to be well, smokeless, I guess. Now I don't really play with this build here myself a lot, or even anytime pretty much, because like I say, every time I put one of these builds on my cruisers, I get bored because it forces me to play much more defensively than I usually do with an agile build, and yeah, it's just not my way of playing. And it is ironic that the so-called like confrontational commanders, they actually make you play more defensively, while the more agile commanders, or defensive commanders if you will, they allow you to be a lot more aggressive. Like even just down to the fact that you usually have another health with an agile build. But anyway, that's not what we are discussing this video here. Here we are just trying to see how much damage I can actually do with this build here, and without actually doing that much work for it. Because in this whole video I'm probably moving between 2 islands, and other than that I'm just AP spamming, I guess. I'm not HE spamming because I don't have that. But it doesn't really matter on Edinburgh. As you'll see at the end of the video, I'll come out of this with about 140,000 damage, and not much else to show for it, that is. So, I mean, 140 is a decent amount of damage, even for an HE spammer like Susuya or something like that. So it's not like you can't play Edinburgh like a Cleveland if you really want to, a Cleveland with smoke. It's just that it's not a lot of fun, in my opinion. So here I'm taking a torpedo. So if you don't want this to happen, then either have an agile build, or you could pick the perk that I skipped over that gives you a little bit more warning on torpedoes, which is probably the one I should have picked here, especially because I'm having a smoke build in this game here. But on the other hand, I still have 2 massive heals, so taking a torp and a flooding is not really much of an issue. Now, every time I play a cruiser like this, and I put one of the confrontational commanders on, I tend to thank the higher powers for the fact that there actually is another way to play these things. Because I've said before, and I've said in many videos now, I get so bored. It's just like playing a battleship that does very little damage, basically. So I always say, if like I want to play like this, I'll just play a battleship instead. I don't like this this playstyle for cruisers. Not saying it's bad or it doesn't work, but I think it's terribly boring. And also, to be fair, this is actually a capture the base battle, and in general, at least in my experience, these battles here tend to be a little bit more like slowly paced than domination battles, and like this would probably be a lot more fun if it was a domination battle. At least it would like push people to actually do a little bit more. So it's also like a perfect storm of having the most boring game mode in probably the most boring build you can think about for Edinburgh. And like I've said, I don't enjoy this way of playing. Now I do like the fast reload. It's down to 5.8 seconds with this build here, and I believe the stock is probably 7 seconds, something like that. Honestly can't remember, but it's 7 or 8. Probably 7, I can't remember. So like I said before, instead of HE, I am spamming AP, and it works almost as well. I mean, you don't get any fires, but you tend to rack up the damage nicely by doing this. Of course, with an agile build, it's better to get a little bit closer, so you can get like some better angles and possibly citadels on cruisers and stuff like that. But with a long range reload build like this, at least in the beginning of the battle, just stay at range and keep pushing the enemies to where you really want them, which is usually somewhere where they are outnumbered. So I've done 3 videos on Edinburgh here in the last week, and it is a great ship. I like it, it's good fun. I do think that it could go with a little bit of a buff. I'm not really sure what the buff should be, but something along the lines of the Hipper buff that was implemented in the last update with a faster reload would be nice. I mean, it's hard to buff the armor on this ship here because, well, the armor is terrific as it is, at least if you play it in a sensible manner. It could also be to raise the speed just a tad, make it go 40 knots instead of 38. That would open whole new ways of playing this ship. As it is now, it is an agile cruiser, but it's just a little bit slow in my opinion. The rudder is there at 2.2 seconds, but the speed is just a tad slow. Now it's actually a ship quite well suited for long range spamming like this here, because of the huge heal. Like, even if you should take a battleship salvo right in the citadel or, well, something like that, you can just fall off detection and repair pretty much the whole thing back and come out swinging again. Like I keep saying, if you don't kill this ship outright, it's very likely to come back and haunt you later in the game, just like Albemarle. And that's something you have to keep in mind when you're facing an Edinburgh. So here this Richelieu is spotting me, and of course wanting to hit my juicy citadel there, but and really here I am too lazy to do anything about it. I just pop my smoke because I'm in a good position, and I'm just gonna pretty much fire all my 4 turrets at this guy until I can't hit him anymore. Yeah, it's a lazy way of playing, but it works. And should he decide to rush me, it's not really a problem. I have a island in front of me, and I'll be able to set up a nice torp run on him if he decides to get within, say, 5 kilometers or something like that. But until that happens, I'm just gonna slowly whittle him down with AP here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can see we're down to 4 versus 4 now, and pretty good damage at nearly 100,000 here, about 5, 6, 7 minutes into the game. And actually the damage record for Edinburgh is one of the highest for any tier 7 cruiser. It's nearly 300,000 damage. You wouldn't think so, but it is. So with this reload build here, I've of course played a few other battles, and I tend to get about 15% more damage with it compared to my agile games, which makes quite good sense. I mean, I have a 10% faster reload, or actually 16%, but when you're down to like a base reload of whatever it is on this ship, 7 seconds, like that 16 seconds isn't really gonna give you much. But it is fast, and the AP bites really hard. So if you can get this ship inside, you know, like the really nasty range on a cruiser, it is certainly Citadel time. Especially with all the AP penetration perks I have on this ship. I pretty much have as many as you can possibly get. So it works out well. So here in a minute I'll get my first Citadel in the game. So you see I'm at more than 100,000 damage now without any Citadels or any fires. It's just all down to landing AP on unlucky ships. So I mean, if you say that the HE spam is a nuisance, well, yes it is, but so is AP spam. And apparently, for some reason, AP spam doesn't have the same negative ring to it as HE spam. But in my opinion, they are pretty much the same thing. So like I said in the other videos, I kind of feel like I've rediscovered Edinburgh here lately, because I really haven't been playing it a lot. A few battles in the last year or something like that. But because of all the new HE cruisers like Suzuya here, and Ochakov, and Flint, and also Cleveland, and Wichita, there's a lot of squishy cruisers that you can absolutely pulverize with this amazing AP on this ship here. And of course, don't forget about destroyers. If you watch my other videos, you see how fast these guns here just tear through a destroyer, even faster than HE, I believe. So I'm the only target in range for the Suzuya here at the moment, so or at least the only target that's spotted, so that's why I retreated there. I didn't want to get burned down, because we are ahead on points, and these guys have lost the battle already, because the other cruiser is too far away to do anything, and the Suzuya is outnumbered. So it's really just a matter of waiting this out, seeing if I can spot him again for the battleship to play along, but just do it without taking too many chances, because as you saw before, if he wants to, he could burn me down if I'm not careful. So obviously I don't want that to happen.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Now there is some poetic justice in situations like this, where you can chase probably the most annoying HE spamming ship in the game by spamming AP at it, and every hit you get is a pretty good chance for a Citadel. And of course Suzuya, and especially Ochakov players, they know that, and as soon as they get a taste of that first hit, they run away. And of course there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you should do in that situation. Run away and shoot HE and hope that you'll burn the enemy down. But it is a nice feeling to be able to shoot deadly AP at these guys here with you know, a full salvo every less than 6 seconds. Yeah, it is quite nice. So I'm just gonna very, very slowly push this Suzuya even further away, because I don't want him to start burning down my battleship or anything like that, and that's why I became unspotted before, just to let him know that I'm still here, so don't come any closer. So right now I'm just sitting here waiting for the inevitable torps, because I saw the Suzuya fired torps, so I'm just waiting for them to come this way, so I don't get taken by surprise somewhere. But actually now is where my impatience plays in, and I just get bored doing this, because there's still nearly 2.5 minutes left of the battle, and yeah, I'm well, basically getting bored. So I know the torps are coming, but I just figure I'll be able to ride them out and see if I can't kill that Suzuya anyway, because you can see we're 100 points ahead, so there's not much to worry about here. So I'm not using my sonar, because I know roughly where the torpedoes are coming from, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to dodge, and I even find a very nice opening here, so I don't really have to do much. So I pop the sonar on now, because I'm worried there might be a second set coming, and Just want to make sure I don't get surprised by that. And I mean, there's no destroyers left, so I might as well just burn this last sonar here in the last few minutes of the game, because it'll last pretty much the whole time left. So I'm trying to cap here, but obviously I'm not going to finish because there's nowhere near enough time left, but it all gives a little bit of XP, so I mean, why not? And the battleship on my side has got the same thought, so we'll just head down here and see if we can't drag up a little bit extra XP. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to spot the Suzuya, and I have the battleship with me, so this time we should be able to take this guy out. So I'm just making sure that I stay ahead of the battleship so I can screen him with my sonar, because I don't want him to suddenly take a whole broadside of torpedoes, especially if I go with him, because then we could actually lose this game here. So like I said, I'll just steam ahead here and use my sonar to screen, and then if I'm lucky I'll be able to spot the Suzuya, and we should be able to finish him off here just in the last few seconds of the game. Of course we could also just wait 20 seconds and win the old-fashioned way, but he decides to make a last stand here, so I'll give him a salvo, and then of course the battleship will too. So that's the end of the battle here, and we just get a dreadnought there at the end, which is a common occurrence in Edinburgh, by the way, because of the huge heal. So this was Edinburgh with a super reload build, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.